there? I trust you're doing excellent. Once again, welcome to the Ultimate Piano Teaching Course Level 100. Once again, this is Minister Stein with you all. I know you have been enjoying this series as I'm taking you through my actual course. And I'm giving you the basic fundamentals you need to know. The only thing is I'm not really taking time to keep, do the practicing aspect. But I'm giving you all the information you need to get you ready and prepared, okay? All right, we have been going through a lot of lessons, and today we are going to focus on sharps and flats, okay? We are going to focus on sharps and flats for today, okay? Today we are going to focus on sharps and flats, okay? What are sharps and flats, okay? Let's find out what they are as we go through the lessons. All right, let me get myself off screen so you can see everything. All right, so how do they look like, okay? So as we can see, a sharp looks like this pound sign with the two slashes in the middle of it. The only difference is it's kind of slanted, okay? You realize all these signs, they look slanted, okay? They are not just straight up and through like the regular pound sign. It's like a slanted pound sign, okay? All right, so that's how a sharp looks like. And a flat looks like a slanted B, okay? Kind of like how you write a B, but slanted a little bit, okay? So that's how sharps and flats look like, okay? So anytime you hear in music or in piano, anybody saying sharps or flats, they are talking about these signs, okay? All right, let's move on. So what are those signs classified as, okay? So we are seeing a whole bunch of these signs. What exactly are these signs? What are they classified as, okay? And so let's talk about that very briefly, okay? So this sign right here is classified as natural, okay? That is not something I talk about in my music because I don't do theory, okay? And I don't really get into staff notation, as in noting my notes in staff notation. I just kind of want to give you the basic understanding of it, okay? I talk a lot about sharps. We are going to be dealing with a lot with that, okay? So sharps is very important and flats is very important. So that's why I call this sharps and flats, okay? So that's what we're going to be most times dealing with, okay? A sharp is like that, a flat looks like that. And then there's a double flat, which looks like the flat sign doubled up, okay? Right next to each other, doubled up, okay? Great. And then a double sharp, you would think, should look like two of those pounds, okay? You never know. Somebody might, some people might write it like that, okay? But it just looks like an X, kind of, an X, a weird looking X, okay? All right, so that's how it looks like, okay? So that's another view of, everything being explained here, okay? All right, the natural, the sharp, okay? The flat, the double flat, and then double sharp, the double sharp, okay? So the basic thing is we have another level. So it's kind of just these three, okay? The natural, the sharp, and the flat, okay? And then these extra things are just basically saying the double of that, okay? So really focus on, that's why I don't really get into that, okay? So really focus on the natural way of playing something, okay? The flat way of playing it and the sharp way of playing it. So really just these three is what I focus on with my lessons, and really that is all you are really gonna need, especially for the beginning, okay? So anyways, all these signs, as we explained, are classified as accidentals, okay? Accidentals, and that's what they are called in music, okay? So that is just for you to know. But like I said, we are gonna focus on just the flats, the natural way of playing it, and the sharp. I don't really deal with this sign. I will always say the normal way of playing, or I'll say the natural way of playing. If you hear me saying that, then that's what I'm talking about. So if I was to write C and I was to pair C up with this sign, that means the normal way of playing it. But I don't even use that sign. I just simply write C, okay? In music, you are barely ever going to see people using this sign. probably just in music, right? And they will do that, okay? So if I was to write C, I wouldn't pair it up with the sign. I'll just simply write C. If I was to write F, I'll simply just write F. And if you see a letter without anything, that means it's the normal way of playing it, okay? And that is what I do with that. If I wanted to really be technical, then I would have to use this sign. But this sign looks so weird, you know, I don't have the time to write that sign, okay? But B and pound is so easy to write, okay? And even when you write in music, you don't really have to slant it. Everybody will know what you are talking about, okay? You can write a small b and a regular pound, and everybody will know exactly what you are talking about whenever you are writing and you are not using the actual sign, okay? All right, great. Let's move on. All right, so what exactly is a sharp? What is a sharp, okay? So let's talk about that briefly. All right, what is a sharp? So first off, okay, once again, that is how a sharp look like. So a sharp is a half step down from the initial note. A sharp is a half step down from the initial note. Remember, we kind of talked about what a half step is and a whole step is in our earlier lessons. This is lesson 5, by the way, in case I did not talk about it, okay? This is lesson 5, okay? So a sharp is a half step down, okay? A half step up, sorry. A sharp is a half step up from the initial note, okay? A sharp is a half step up from the initial note. So I will explain that as we keep going, okay? All right, so just bear with me. What is a flat, okay? What is a flat? A flat is a half step down from the initial note. So if a flat, let me do this, okay? So if a sharp, okay, happens to be a half step up, then if a sharp happens to be a half step up, then a flat happens to be a half step down. It's very simple. Half step up, half step down. That's all there is to it, okay? So if I'm here and I wanted to go up, okay, that means forward. If I wanted to go back, that means backwards, okay? So if I go forward, that means I'm going a sharp. If I'm going down, that means I'm going a flat, okay? So always remember, backwards or down means flat. Forward or up, okay, means sharp. Just always remember that, okay? Great. And again, that is the symbol that we use to represent a flat. Okay, moving on. All right, let me get out of your way. So the whole full picture is this, okay? So when we are looking at the full picture of what a sharp and flat is as simple as, remember I said a sharp will be going up and a flat will be going down. Okay, great. So because of that reason, we need to understand that depending on the key we are in, the flat and sharp will be different, okay? So this is why it looks kind of a little bit simple here. It looks a bit complicated here, right? Because every key is going to be different. Let's start from the simple way of looking at it. So if we were to do a C, okay, C, okay, all right, if we are doing a C right here, and we were to say we are going up from C, well, what is it going to be called now? C sharp, okay? You got that right, okay? So a sharp, remember, a sharp is a step up from the initial note, right? A half step up from the initial note. So a half step up will be 1, okay? 1 step up, okay? A whole step is 2, half step is up. When we are dealing with sharps and flats, it's all simply half steps, okay? Don't complicate it, half step, okay? So, so don't be jumping notes and come all the way here and call it no. Okay, so if I told you give me C sharp, that means C is my initial note, then I go up 1, that will give me C sharp, okay? If I told you give me D sharp, that means I'm a D, D is my initial note, then I'll go half step up, okay? So basically sharps and flats are basically kind of like basically a half step up or down from the white notes, using, basically the black notes surrounding the white notes, okay? If you want to look at it that way, okay? All right, so D sharp will be going up, okay? So if I had E, okay? If I had E, okay, and I was to tell me what E sharp is, right? Technically, you could say F is E sharp, technically, okay? Why? It's because it's a half step up, okay? Technically, you can say that, okay? Now, if I was to have F and I was to say, give me a half step from F, a half step, give me the sharp of F, then that's going to be a half step up, and that is going to be F sharp, okay? If I told you G, a half step up will be G sharp, okay? A half step up, okay, will be A sharp, okay? So that is what the sharps are, okay? Sharps simply means a half step up, okay, going forward or up from the initial note, okay? Going forward or up from the initial note, and that is what a sharp represents, okay? And I hope that is easy for you guys to understand, okay? Now, going the other direction, okay? Now we have flats, okay? Flats, okay? And now D, let's say, for example, if we were to start with C, okay? If we were to start with C and we were to play the B, okay? You guys cannot see it, but this B right here, okay? If we were to do that, that is technically going to be called a C flat, okay? Technically, you can call it a C flat. Got it? Okay. And now if we had a D, now if we go a half step down, that's going to give us D flat. If we had an E, a half step down will give us E flat. If we had F, a half step down will give us F flat. Okay. And you guys can kind of see that over here. Okay. All right. If we had, where are we at? We did E. Okay, and we did F, okay? G, if we had G, a half step down will give us G flat, okay? If we had A half step down will give us A flat. If we had B, a half step down will give us B flat. You guys see how that works, okay? So that is just the basics of how you deal with sharps and flats when it comes to the piano, okay? However, remember we dealt with a whole bunch of let me go back to that so I can show you very quick. Remember we had a whole bunch of these weird looking signs, right? Okay, so what if we wanted to implement all that into the piano, right? So then it gets to this right here, okay? So technically, a C can be called a D double flat, okay? Or you see that, or a B sharp, and I will explain that to you more as we keep going, okay? Why is that? Because technically, let me make sure I'm wording it right for you. So double flat, okay, and double sharp, okay? I just want to make sure I'm using the same wording so it doesn't confuse you, because there are so many terminologies in piano. I just want to because usually I would say flat, flat, and I'll say sharp, sharp, okay? Basically, same thing, same concept. But I just want to make sure we are using the same wording, okay? So here, so you see a C sharp, okay? A C can be called a regular C, as the colors can be called the normal way of doing it, okay? Which is the normal sign that you saw earlier, earlier when we talked about it. Like I said, I never use that normal sign, but if you want to word it in there, that's fine, okay? So a C can be called the normal C. Then it can also be called a D flat. I was about to say a D flat flat, but again, it's correct. D flat flat or a D double flat, okay? Why would we say D double flat? Okay, here's the reason why. Because a D flat is here, and a D flat step down from D flat will give you D double flat. You guys see how interesting it gets? So it's not just about the whites. We can also do it from the blacks, okay? So if we're to do it from the black, this can be called a C sharp. At the same time, it's going to be called a D flat. A C sharp because a half step up from C gives you that C sharp. A D flat because a half step down from D gives you D flat. You guys got that? So now the interesting part is it's called a D double flat because, or D flat flat, because a D flat half step down will give you that D flat flat or D double flat. Okay, you guys see how that works? Okay, and why is it being called a B sharp here? Well, it's because if we are at a B here, okay, and we were to go up by one, okay, if you have a B here and we are going up by one, okay, that will give us a sharp. Remember that a sharp is a half step up from that initial note. This is the initial note, up. will give us B sharp. So you see why this is called C? Oh, sorry about that. You see why this is called a C at the same time called a C? Oh, come on. You see why this is called a C at the same time called a D double flat at the same time called a B sharp, okay? Because of all the surrounding notes around it, okay? So it's surrounded by a few notes, okay? So you got to understand, and then also you got to understand what key you are talking about. If you are simply talking about C, then it's as simple as C sharp and C flat. As simple as that. Got it? C sharp and C flat. As simple as that. Got it? So that is how it works. However, if we wanted to understand everything, so this is why sometimes if I'm playing and I say F sharp and you see G flat on my piano notation, you know, it doesn't mean it's wrong. You need to understand it can have multiple names. Okay, it all depends on what scale we are talking about. Well, what note we are dealing with. Okay, and this kind of have to do with the circular fifths, which I don't really get it much into the circular fifths because I feel like it doesn't really relate to, you know, the things you need to understand. You know, as long as you can understand these basics, you'll be fine. Okay. But here, so you guys see how that works, okay? So as simple as a half step up gives you a sharp, a half step down gives you a flat. Simple, okay? Let's skip over and do maybe another example. Let's do F, okay? If we try and do all these, it's going to waste time. Let's do F, okay? And again, you might wonder what this is. Remember, it's a sharp, sharp, right? Sharp, sharp, okay? So remember, if we had a B sharp here, because the B brought us to the sharp, now if we sharp that B sharp, it will give us the B sharp sharp. It's very strange, okay? But that is kind of the whole point to that. So let's come to G. Let's do G, okay? So what if we had G and we went up from G? What will we have? That will give us a G sharp, okay? What if we went down from G? That will give us a G flat. Got it? However, if we are at G flat and we were to go to the sharp of that, okay? At the end of the day, if you wanted to really, you know, confuse yourself here, the bottom line here is you can call this like, there are so many names you can call this. You know, this is not even filled entirely right, okay? So you can call this a G flat, flat, sharp, technically, really. Right? The point is for you to understand what a sharp and flat is. You can call this a G. So let's say if we were to go from G sharp to this, okay? You can also call this a G flat to the sharp, okay? Which is a G flat sharp, okay? Music gets crazy, okay? But the bottom line is, that's why I don't get into all these doubles. Now you see why I don't get into the doubles? I simply teach you the sharp and the flat. You guys realize how much easier it got here, but here it keeps getting confusing with these doubles, right? That is kind of why I don't get into it, because I feel like in most times when you're learning from the beginning, you're not going to need to know any of that. I've never played any of that, okay? All right, so I just want you to kind of understand that, okay? It all depends on how you are noting it, how you are calling it, okay? All right, so you guys get a point. And then also, if you had, so we did the G sharp, we did the G flat, okay? And then we talked about the G flat sharp, okay? And then A flat to the flat, A flat double flat, got it? Okay? And then why would this be called an F sharp sharp, right? It's the same thing as me saying G flat sharp, okay? Because F to the sharp and then sharp, okay? F sharp sharp, okay? So that's why I say you can technically call it a whole bunch of names, but this is just simplified so you get a concept, okay? All right. In the same sense, what else? A here can bring a half step down from A can give you A flat, okay? And a half step up from A will give you A sharp, and so on. You guys get a picture, right? All right, great. So let's move on. All right, so now it's time to practice these things, okay? So time to practice what a sharp and a flat is, okay? So let me switch over my piano and let's practice that a little bit, okay? All right, let's practice that a little bit, okay? So here, we have the piano, okay? So now, what exactly are we talking about? What exactly are we talking about here? So what we are saying with the sharps and the flats is this, okay? So for example, we did the C, right? So if we have a C here, okay, and we wanted to say, and I told you, give me C sharp. Remember, a sharp is a half step up from the initial note. Where's the initial note? You are seeing it. I'm holding it. That is the initial note. A half step up means one step up. That gives me C sharp. But realize, on my piano, it's not even reading it as C sharp. It's reading as D flat. And that is what I was talking to you about, okay? It doesn't mean it's not C sharp, right? It is C sharp. But because my piano is reading it different, it's reading it by the D to the flat. D to the flat. So that is why it can be called multiple things. It all depends on what you are dealing with, okay? So again, C, okay? And then you sharp it. That will give you C sharp. Got it? All right. How about this? How about we had a C and we wanted to flat it, okay? Then we're going to have this as the flat. So what you are seeing as a B on my keyboard can also be called a C flat. Got it? Let's do a few more examples. Let's do something we didn't do in the example. Let's do something like E, okay? So we have an E here, okay? All right, let's come here. We have an E here, okay? So now with this E, if we were to sharp it, okay, that would take us to the F, which will be an E sharp or F, okay? Got it? Now, if we were to flat it, that will give us an E flat, okay, or a D, or a D sharp. E flat or a D sharp. Got it? D sharp, D sharp, or E flat. D sharp, E flat. D sharp, E flat. D sharp, E flat. D sharp, E flat. You guys got it? All right, cool. Let's do one more example. Let's do. I want us to do something we haven't done. Okay. We kind of have done it, almost those. Okay. How about let's do one of the blacks to make it hard. Okay. Let's do one of the blacks to make it hard. Okay. So, say I have. What do I want to do? I've talked about these. Okay, let's do B flat, okay? If I had a B flat, okay? If I had a B flat, okay? Then I wanted to find the sharp and flat of that B flat, okay? So that means I'm going to have a B flat, okay? And then going forward will be sharp. So B flat to the sharp. B flat sharp, okay? B flat sharp. So literally you're going to see a B flat sharp. If you see something like that, you should understand what they are talking about, okay? Now, if I saw a B flat flat, that means I'm going to flatten that B, okay? So then that's going to look like the A, okay? So the B flat to the flat, B flat to the sharp, okay? So B flat sharp, B flat flat, B flat sharp, B flat flat, B flat regular, or B flat natural, B flat natural or regular is the same thing, okay? B flat natural, B flat sharp, B flat flat, B flat natural, B flat sharp, B flat flat, okay? Or B flat, B flat, B. It's so weird. B flat double flat. Okay. So you guys see why I keep saying I sometimes word it differently, because I don't have the time to make it too long. Okay. So I just say B sharp sharp, B flat flat. Okay. If you do that, everybody knows what you're talking about. Okay. All right. So again, B flat sharp, B flat flat. Okay. Or B flat sharp, B flat, B flat double, so B, you can call it B double flat, I guess, you know, B double flat, okay? So B double flat, okay? If you want to call it like that, okay? But I just keep it simple and don't just call it B sharp sharp, B flat flat. It makes it easy for me to kind of just get there, okay? So if it makes it easy for you to, go ahead and do it. I do B flat flat, B sharp sharp, okay? And it's the same concept, all right? Great. So you guys saw that example, okay? All right, so let's move on with our lesson. All right, hope you guys are enjoying the lesson so far. All right, let's move on. All right, so again, that was the practice time. Moving to the next slide. All right, so now we are going to talk about majors and minors, okay? Because that is something that I also want to cover, okay? Majors and minors, because we are moving into chords. And so it's important I teach you these things already so that you can be prepared for it, okay? All right, so let's talk about majors and minors. All right, so how does the major symbol look like, okay? How does the major symbol look like, okay? Let's talk about that. Okay, so the major symbol, okay, the major symbol looks something like that, okay? It looks something like that, a capital M, okay? That's how a major symbol looks like, okay? All right? Then a minor symbol, okay? A minor symbol, okay? So how does a minor symbol look like, okay? How does a minor symbol look like? A small m. Wow. That was so hard, right? So it's as simple as that, guys, okay? A major is simply a capital M. A minor is simply a small m. As simple as that. Capital M, small m. Very simple, all right? So now let's talk about the difference between majors and minors. What exactly is a major? What exactly is a minor, okay? So we know a major, okay, is the original way. So remember I said original, natural, okay? So original way or the natural way, okay, like I was explaining to you guys, a major is the original or natural way of playing a major triad or chord, okay? So if I had a chord and I played the normal way without flattening or sharpening or double flatten or double sharpen it, okay, then that is called a major, okay? It's just that simple, okay? However, a minor, okay, pay attention here. A minor is a half step down. Now pay attention to this one. A minor is a half step down from the middle note of a major triad or chord. A minor is a half step down from the middle note of a major triad or chord. So let me ask you a question. Between A and B, between example A and example B, if I was to ask you which one is a major, what would you tell me? Remember, a major has to be the normal way of playing a chord, okay? Now you don't know how to play a chord, so I won't ask you the question of what makes up a chord, okay? Because then I will be getting ahead of myself. So I'm not going to ask you that question. But if I was to ask you, if a minor is a half step down from the middle note of a chord, okay, and you see these two examples, which one looks like the middle note was moved back? If we look at this example, and we were to say this one is the regular way, and the middle note has to be moved back, that means the middle note has to come to the D. Is this example on the D? No. So that tells us that this example has to probably be the major, right? Because if we were to say this is the major, then this has to be the minor. And if we say this is the major, this has to be the minor, okay? So let's say we said this is the major. If this is the major, then a half step down should be the C, the D, and then the G. But that's not what we are seeing here. So that is the wrong way of looking at it. However, if we were to say this is the major, okay, now if we were to say a half step down takes us to the E flat or the D sharp. Got it? And that's what we are seeing here. So the correct answer is the major is A and the minor is B in these two examples. Does that make sense? All right, great. Let's move on. All right, so here are some examples of how they look like, okay? Here are some examples of how they look like, okay? So you guys can get some examples, then after that, we'll put it to practice, okay? So, again, the two are standing there, okay? Which one is the major and which one is the minor, okay? Is the black the major or the red the major? Did you say the red is the major? Wrong. You're not paying attention. Wrong. Okay, did you say the black is the major? Yes, that is correct. All right. The major is the big way of writing the letter. And the minor is the small way of writing the letter. Remember that, okay? It's not that hard, okay? So the major is the capital M. The minor is the small m. Got it? Okay, remember that. Don't forget. Okay, we're almost getting to the end. So if you saw this and you see the key or the note, and then it's paired up with a capital M, would you say it's called C major, or would you say it's called C minor? All right. Did you say C major? That is correct, because capital M stands for major. Got it? If you saw a C with a small m, that makes sense. We already talked about it. That is going to be a C minor. Makes sense? If you saw an F with a capital M, would you say it's called FM, or would you say it is called F minor? Who said FM? If you said FM, you are wrong. Who said F minor? If you said F minor, you are also wrong. How about F major? That is correct. All right, an F paired with a capital M stands for F major. F major. Got it? All right, and then FM, okay, F small m stands for F major, not FM as in you listening to the radio station. No. Okay? F minor, minor M, major M, right? So think of major and minor as the big one, the capital and the small one, okay? So the capital letter, the small letter, okay? Major is something big, minor is something small. Remember that, okay? It's just that simple. So F minor, F major, very simple. All right, so now it's time to put it to practice. All right, we're almost done. Time to put it to practice. Now we are going to practice our majors and our minors. Our majors and our minors, okay? All right, let me get this going here. Let's see, we got that. All right, cool. All right, so we are going to practice our majors and our minors, okay? So if I was to play a chord, right now you don't know what a chord is, okay? So first things first, we got to practice our majors and our minors. So we got to practice the normal way of playing it, okay? Right now you don't know what a chord is, and I'm not going to teach you until we get there, okay? But a C chord is like this, okay? Got it? That's how a C chord looks like, okay? A C chord looks like that, okay? And I should have changed my piano so you guys, because of how I'm sitting. All right, let me change it so you guys can get oh no. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, cool. All right, so if I was to play a C major is going to be the normal way or the natural way of playing the C chord, and it's going to be this. Got it? So that is the normal way of playing it. And the minor is telling you a half step down from the middle note of that chord, okay, of that major chord. So if I said C minor, then that means I'm going to first find the major first, then I'm going to minor it by taking the middle note, eliminating that middle note, isolating it, okay? So think of it as isolation. We are isolating the middle note and taking it a half step down. Is that correct? Wrong. Don't forget the black notes. Guys, let's think, okay? Let's pay attention. All right, so we go from here first, then we come here, then we go here, then we come here, then we go here, not here, but here, then we come here. Every single note on the keyboard counts. All right, so if we're to minor the C, that means we are isolating, we are eliminating and replacing the middle note, okay, by a half step or a semitone down. So a half step can also be called a semitone, okay? A semitone down, okay, or a half step down. Got it? You guys see the minor now? So a C major looks like this, and a C minor looks like that. So the point is, anytime you want to find a minor, think of the major and then eliminate the middle and then go a half step down. Got it? All right, let's do another example. F, okay? F looks like this, okay? If we are to minor it, then we are going to go a half step down, a half step down, okay? G, a half step down, a half step down, okay? Got it? Let's do A, a half step down, a half step down. Let's do B flat, okay? Okay, B flat, a half step down. Okay. Did I say B flat? That's B. Sorry about that. All right, let's do B flat. B flat. Okay, B flat, a half step down. Let's do F sharp. F sharp, a half step down. Is that correct? No. Pay attention. Why are we skipping this? Got it? I told you, don't skip. Okay? We have this, then this. Okay? So an F sharp, we are minoring it. Got it? All right, great. Let's do G sharp last. So we have a G sharp, okay? All right, we are going to minor it, okay? Is that correct? Why are you leaving that white note hanging out by himself? You know what I'm saying? You see that white? Don't you see it? Can your eyes not see? Can your eyes not see the white being skipped? Please get it right. Okay? So we have a G sharp, okay? Then we minor the middle note. We isolate the middle note and minor it. Got it? And that is it, guys. So at the end of the day, you have learned sharps and flats, and you have learned majors and minors. Okay, it's a very straightforward lesson, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, great. So I think that is it for our presentation. Okay, that is it. Okay, so that will conclude. Let me make sure. Yep. That is the end of the lesson. Okay, so that's going to conclude it for today's lesson. Okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Okay, all right. So once again, this is the Ultimate Piano Teaching Course, Level 100, and I'm going to take you through the complete syllabus, or the complete content of every single thing I expect all my students to know in order to be able to play piano, okay? I'm taking you through my course. However, the only thing is I'm not taking time to repeat things, because remember, the keyboard is all about repetition, practice, and all that. You having a private teacher like me, I'm going to stay on you so you are practicing the right way. That is it. But now you are getting the technical side of me, okay? Which is fine. You get that, and you just got to practice on your own so that you get better, okay? So right now we have learned a lot of things. We have learned the fundamentals, piano fundamentals. At the same time, we have learned some basic terminologies, okay? We have learned some music theory, on the staff notation and things of that nature. And we have also learned how to play a major scale and the formula for that. We've learned that with the whole steps and half steps, or semitones with the half steps, okay? And we also learned our hand placement and fingering diagram. We've learned that, okay? And today we learned earlier the node conversion chart system, or the NCCS, okay? And now we have just learned the flats and sharps and majors, and the flats and sharps and majors and minors, okay? And we have learned that all today, okay? So that is good. That is a good start. So now we are going to move into the chords, okay? What you have been waiting for the longest, okay? Remember, it's a step-to-step process. So if I don't teach you this and I just go here, I'm going to have to, it's going to be like, well, I didn't teach you that, right? So I got to teach you those things. So when I get to that, we are going to use the things I taught you earlier to do this, okay? And so that is why I'm teaching you in order, okay? So, you know, everything is going to make sense as we keep going, okay? All right. So the next thing we are going to be dealing with tomorrow, God willing, is we are going to be dealing with the chord notation system, okay, which deals with the major scale. Remember, the major scale is going to teach us a lot of things, okay? Then we are going to deal with the major chord formation system and the minor chord formation system. So that is going to be all in one, okay? It's going to be a 3-part lesson all in one. So that might take a little while because of the practice aspect. So the chord notation system, the major chord formation system, and the minor chord formation system, all in one lesson. That is going to be in lesson 6, okay? Then after that, I'll tell you what we are going to do after that, okay? So I'm going to take you through all the basic things, okay? And you are going to be really ready. You're going to feel ready. You're going to feel very prepared to play piano, okay? So just be excited for what is coming, okay? All right. Well, once again, this was, you know, a lesson on sharps and flats and majors and minors, and I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope you have been blessed by today's lesson, okay? All right, until next time, remain blessed. I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Once again, this is Minister Stein with L4C Multimedia, and also our School of Music, okay? All right, once again, if you want to register for class, okay, if you want to register for class, you know, you are more than encouraged to, okay? Our numbers are always on the screen. I just realized you guys weren't able to hear me. I don't know when I sent away my microphone, but whatever I was saying you guys can reach out to us if you want to, you know, take private lessons, okay? That's what I was talking about. So in case you didn't catch that, I'm kind of going back to that, okay? I just realized that I had my microphone sent off. I needed to send a signal. Okay, so now you guys got it. So you can reach out to us, studio@liveforchristnetworks.com, or reach out to us directly, direct phone call or WhatsApp on 571-577-4471. Okay, all right. So that's what I was talking about before I sent my audio out by mistake. Okay, all right. As always, you can always follow us on social media. Okay, you can always follow us on social media. Okay, all right. I'll see you guys in the next video. Remain blessed. See you guys in the next video.